What's up, everybody? This your boy Stephen J. I'm with Simply Steve, and we're about to Let's Talk Wrestling on our second show. So we're gonna talk about Monday Night Raw, and we're gonna talk about WrestleMania. We're gonna go down a couple of the cards, but we're gonna talk about Raw last night. On a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give Monday Night Raw from last night?
Get it a 7, I guess. 7?
A 7?
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 5. I'm giving it a 5 simply because I didn't like what Triple H did to my boy CM Punk with the cheap shot that he did. He sent out there at CM Punk last night. I picked up on it, and all the fans in the arena picked up on it last night because they started, as soon as Triple H said it, they started screaming CM Punk. So we're going to go down the card a bit, and we're going to talk about the matches. So, you know, the Raw starts off where Triple H coming in the ring, he's talking about Daniel Bryan, then he's interrupted by Batista, interrupted by Randy Orton. Then Triple H drops a bombshell, which is actually pretty good. I actually like that. He said, you know, I'm getting sick and tired of you guys whining, and I'm carrying your weight, and this, that, and the other. And he says, if I beat Daniel Bryan, which he is, I'm going to enter the triple threat match at WrestleMania, which I actually rather would see Triple H, Randy Orton versus Batista. Basically, old Evolution versus Daniel Bryan, Batista versus Randy Orton. I think that triple threat match is a better triple threat match that they're trying to put together. What do you think, Simply?
Well, when I heard Triple H say that was some big news right there, I was like, oh damn, Triple H beats him, he's getting a title match. It's been a long time since he's been in a title match for, you know, so if Triple H does beat Daniel Bryan, then that is a match that I'll also be looking forward to seeing, to see if Triple H can capture the gold once again.
So, I mean, do you like that idea versus, would you rather see Triple H versus, would you like to see the Evolution reunion at WrestleMania, or would you rather see Daniel Bryan thrown in there?
I think I would like to see the Evolution reunion.
Alright, me too. So we move on to, you know, so Randy Orton RKO's Batista. Yeah, it was pretty good. I still like that pose that he does like that. That's kind of cool. So then we had the next match, which was the Usos versus the Real Americans. And I actually like, first of all, I just want to say this. The tag team division in the WWE sucks right now. I mean, they had
a lot of people say, you know, not a lot of people, but I hear it on there, they say it's kicking back up again. I don't know.
I don't think it's picking back up again because they broke up the primetime players. They broke up, what was Funk and Funk, or what were they called? The Funkadactyls?
Tons of Funk.
Tons of Funk. They broke them up. Who else broke up? Big Show and Mark Henry, they was like tag teaming for a minute there. So at one point, it was actually really getting interesting. And you know, with Cody Rhodes and his brother as tag team champs, and you know, got the New Age Outlaws, throw them in the midst of it. And it was actually pretty good. But now, you know, you got the Usos, you know, you got the primetime players. They broke up. I can't see Daniel, what's his name, Darren Young, as a single competitor. I'm sorry, he just does not excite me, which is probably why he hasn't been on television ever since they broke up. I probably can see them as a dark match for WrestleMania, but I can't see Darren Young. But I do like Titus O'Neil. I think he has a lot of upside because, you know, he's big or whatever, whatever he does. But the Usos versus the Real Americans, I like. It was a pretty good match, but I think they need to bring. It's time. Cesaro is coming out as a single competitor. Jack Swagger hasn't been the guy since he lost since he was world champion on SmackDown at that time. He really hasn't been the same. See, you're supposed to be our cameraman. That's my son as the cameraman, everybody, and he's gonna put his mouth on the handle and bite it, and now this is gonna go up.
Why did he actually hit it?
We live and this stuff happening, and come on, man.
Did you see it? Did you see it? He hit it.
It Anyway, so, but I like Cesaro. He's getting a lot of pop with his, they really need to call that the spinneroonie because he's spinning those guys around like that. But Cesaro is really getting some good fan pop. And plus, he's actually a good competitor. I always liked him. I think he's going to have a world title match real soon. What you think?
Cesaro is definitely getting some pop, especially when he goes for that spinning move. Everyone counts down with him when he spins around because, you know, he's done that to a lot of big guys. You know, he's done that to Cena and stuff like that. So, you know, yeah, I can definitely see him being a world champion soon. Well, not
or
soon.
at least Intercontinental Champion or Television Champion because what's the guy from Shield? I really don't like him. Dean Ambrose. I kind of like his character, but I mean, come on, you haven't defended the title in like over 6 months. I mean, really? And I think who he beat? Kofi Kingston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So at least Cesaro. Matter of fact, wasn't that Cesaro's belt?
Yeah, Cesaro had
Cesaro needs to go back for his U.S. title. So next match was you had Titus O'Neil versus Sheamus. Again, I like Titus O'Neil. I think he has some good upside. I think give him a couple more years to work on his craft and his mic skills or whatever. And if he can find a good thing, I don't want to say gimmick because it makes it sound cheap. But if he can find his niche, I think he'll be pretty good. But I think he needs to find another tag team partner. Is basically what I think. So that match. Well, the Real Americans versus Cesaro, which they lost, I give it a 7. What you give it?
I give it a. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 7 too. I mean, it was pretty good, pretty decent. We can see. I guess we can see those two. I guess those two teams going for tag team titles.
Right. Titus O'Neil versus Sheamus. Sheamus. See, that's the thing in the WWE. If you get hurt, unless you're like John Cena, unless you're like Stone Cold, The Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, those kind of guys, if you get hurt and you have a huge fan base and a huge pop, I'm sorry, you just may lose all the momentum that you had. Look at Sheamus. He was on a huge roll. He got hurt, got injured, and he's back now, but it's not the same. If Sheamus was at an 8.5, he's about a 5 right about now. Look at Bad News Barrett. I love Barrett. Wade Barrett. He has definitely some good upside. He got hurt twice. And unfortunately, second time he came back, he was on a roll. He got hurt again, and now he does the bad news thing, and it's just like, okay, Barrett, I'm getting sick and tired of you right now. And matter of fact, who else? Guys don't remember, there's a guy by the name, I told you we was going to go back. There was a guy by the name of Ahmed Johnson. He was a black guy. I think he was in TNA at one point. He was in WCW too at one point. But he stormed the WWE like Ryback did, and he just got a huge pop. He slammed Yokozuna, and he was in line for a title match. He got hurt. He came back probably like 6 months later. Not the same, didn't have the same pop. The fan base remembered him, hey, welcome back, but it just wasn't the excitement that he had when he was there. Same thing with Sheamus. He's back now, it's just not the same, and now he's the so-called good guy and everything and whatever. And his feud with Christian, it could be better. I actually like Christian as a face versus a heel. It's just that he has to do something dramatic. Matter of fact, he needs to go rated R, I'll say that. And he hasn't done what Edge did when Edge was running that heel roll. Christian needs to go that route, and I mean, like, really do something. And like, oh my God, did you see what Christian did? He just hasn't gotten there yet. So then you had Daniel Bryan over fighting Randy Orton. Again,
qualification match.
I'm getting tired of seeing them fight. It's like, I'll tell you what, it's like me watching every week Fandango and his chick versus what's that guy? Santino and that
Emma.
Stupid chick that they got coming down, and what she do? like she trying to do a robot or something. I don't know what the heck that mess is.
She goes like this. I don't get it.
That's stupid. I'm tired of seeing that. If it ain't on Raw, it's on SmackDown. And you know, that's another example. Santino got hurt. He had a huge pop with the fans. You know, go bro. All that. Now it's like, okay, dude, you still doing that? The only guy that actually ever came back that still had pop was The Rock. That he could still do everything that he was doing before and had everybody winning, everybody just excited, everybody just electrified. Was The Rock, maybe Stone Cold. But Santino came back, another guy came back, not the same thing as it was before. So again, we have Daniel Bryan fighting Randy Orton, and of course Batista comes down to the ring. He interferes, spears Randy Orton. Daniel Bryan kicks him in the face with the goat butt, whatever you want to call it, and Daniel Bryan gets the win. To me, I'm going to give that a 4 for simply I've seen it before. That's why I give it a 4. I've seen it before, and I'm tired of seeing it. The first time when Daniel Bryan got stripped of the title, and they gave Randy the belt and everything. Okay, I want to see the underdog really take it. He was Rudy from that movie Notre Dame. I want to see him get the touchdown. He got it. Now I'm like, okay, now you're running the story into the ground now. I'm tired of it. So I give it a 4 because I've seen it before.
Well, when after Randy Orton RKO'd Batista at the beginning of the show, I kind of had a feeling that Batista would somehow kind of make his way into the match, which he did, and of course cost Randy Orton the match. But like he said, you know, for not really that good of a match, kind of predictable.
So and Batista, when was the last time you saw Batista in the WWE before he came back to the Royal Rumble?
2010.
And he fought who?
John Cena.
And what did he say in his last match with John Cena when he walked away? No, what else? He was like, I'm tired of this, and he left. He whined away and didn't come back. He's whining again. I'm sick and tired of it. I don't like Batista. Never have.
I kind of like Batista when he was here.
You would.
But then he left, and now, you know, he came back, and now he's kind of, yeah.
Alright, so then we had the Shield come in the ring. They looked like they were going to beat up Jerry the King, and but they eventually turned on Kane. That was actually pretty exciting because it kind of showed that they were turning back into the old Shield that just didn't care about any authority or whatever, and they was just beating down everybody. So I did get a kick out of that. That was pretty good. I gave that a 7.
I also thought that was pretty good. You know, a lot of people are starting to cheer the Shield now and stuff like that. So whether eventually they turn face or not, I think it might happen. I'm not sure. But
and you don't even know where they're going with the Shield because
everybody's cheering them now.
At first, it was everyone was cheering Roman Reigns, and they would boo Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. Well, not necessarily Seth. He just had like a medium boo, but Dean got the most boos. But now it seems like, you know, they all, and it seemed like they were all gonna break up. But and it seemed like Roman Reigns was getting a push there ever since the Royal Rumble. But again, it's like the guys who do the show, they kind of like had like a mental breakdown. It's like, I think Roman Reigns has a huge upside, and I think they should have continued with that. They could just imagine if they would have kept Ryback doing what he was doing, Daniel Bryan doing what he's doing, then all of a sudden Roman Reigns doing what he's doing, and you still have Brock Lesnar doing what he's doing, and CM Punk doing what he's doing, and Cena, you would have a huge WrestleMania, because these are all fake guys that are getting popped, and it would just be up. You can charge $89.99 for WrestleMania. They will buy it just for the fact that you got these guys riding high on a wave and stuff like that. So again, what do you think?
I also agree. You know, It would be a.
Paper somewhere because he. Go ahead.
I also agree. You know, all those guys, if they had
Simple
stayed,
Steve, y'all. I mean, Simply Steve, y'all.
if they would have stayed on their path that they were going on, they would. WrestleMania would be bigger than it is now. Why the WWE keeps changing your mind about people I don't know? Because it's starting to get on my nerves. Because like he said, Roman Reigns was getting a pop, and eventually the Shield would have broken up, and Roman Reigns would have went on his own, and he would have been big and everything like that. But somewhere along the way, they decided to keep the Shield together, and it looks like now they might be turning face. So
I like the Shield when they was beating up everybody every week. I love that. They need to go back to that. So then they announced the Hall of Fame, and the next person to be inducted into the celebrity wing, as they call it, is Mr. T. A lot of guys don't remember. Do you remember Mr. T? No. Mr. T, he was with Hulk Hogan in WrestleMania 3, WrestleMania 4, I think. He was referee. He had a good feud with Roddy Piper and everything. And it was actually, growing up and watching that, it was actually kind of funny. I became a Mr. T fan after Rocky 3. I'm a beautiful fool and told me them lies. So I love Mr. T, so I think that's a good Hall of Fame vote. But they can't forget about like guys that, you know, still, because they get current guys, but they still need, I think they should work their way up. Pull some of the guys. I know they should have notable names, but there was a lot of guys that paved the way for the superstars of today, and I think those guys should get some type of recognition and be put in the Hall of Fame. And then you had Goldust versus Fandango. Goldust kind of faded a little bit. I loved him when he first came into the WWE. He had huge pop. He had a boos, rather. Whether you get cheers or boos, if you can get good fan reaction, then that's what's up. Goldust came into WWE. He stormed it. He was Intercontinental Champion, and he was just phenomenal. And now that he's back, I mean, he does his ring attributes. I mean, they are looking good, but okay, Goldust, whatever. I like the move that Cody was on before the whole McMahon versus Rhodes storyline, and it's just like, well, now we got Cody in the tag team, but we really don't know what to do with him. I think what they should do is have a, matter of fact, since they have the Andre the Giant tournament, they should have a tag team tournament in at WrestleMania. Just have a tag team battle royal. If your one partner gets kicked out of the ring, you still have an opportunity to win the title because your other partner is still in there. Or they can have like a 10-man tag where you tag and whatever. But I like the battle royal battle. What you think?
For the tag team, the battle for the tag team.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think that would be. I think that sounds pretty interesting. Yeah, you know, basically it was pretty interesting. I got nothing to say about that.
Then they had the 8-man tag, and you know everyone is putting their hat into the ring for the Andre the Giant trophy. I liked Andre the Giant. I love the way he talked back in the day, and I love the way he choked people when he got mad. I remember when Jake the Snake threw the snake at him. Andre really sold it. I think he was actually scared, but I think it's a good tribute. But they should have named it something else. The Andre the Giant Trophy. They should have, you know, the Andre the Giant Challenge or something like that, to the point. And instead of the person, instead of the person actually just winning a trophy, they should actually win a title shot.
I think if they win the trophy, they should be able to trade it in, at least. Win a title shot or something like the Money in the Bank. If you win that battle royal, you get a title shot at the champion. Excuse me. So then you had Triple H come down to the ring. I ain't even say anything about the women because I really don't even care. I think the women's division was on its upstart, but then, you know, this whole stupid stuff, you know, I like AJ, she's still crazy, but I don't really think there's just no interest from me there in the women's division. Maybe they need to bring that big chick back
whatever her name was, Awesome Kong. They need to bring her back. So Triple H comes down to the ring and he commends Daniel Bryan on being so tough, and then he says, you know, I threw everything I threw everything I could throw at you, and you could have been like some people and took your ball and left. That's when everyone started saying CM Punk, because he took a shot at CM Punk. I didn't like that. I think it was a cheap shot, because Triple H was basically saying, you're gonna whine or whatever, something like that. I mean, again, we talked about it last week about CM Punk leaving and as far as the direction of the WWE, and I agree with CM Punk, but I think he could have dropped a couple pipe bombs like he did when he went up against Cena, and I think as far as the direction of the company was going, he was big enough to change that, to have changed it. So I didn't like the fact that Triple H did that cheap shot at CM Punk, and the fans let him know that. Then you know, Stephanie comes out. She's getting on my nerves too. Bring Shane O'Mac back, please. So Daniel Bryan gets so-called arrested and put in handcuffs. Then Triple H beat the crap out of him or whatever. Then hit him with a chair, knocked him out. Then gave him the pedigree. And then Stephanie, she also slapped him a couple times and stuff like that. And then they did the yes chant, and then it was over. Again, the whole Daniel Bryan thing is getting old in my book. Although I liked him. When he won the title the first time, I liked it. I think the guy has huge upside as far as his wrestling skill. He kind of reminds me of... a little bit of a Bret Hart from the technical aspect of wrestling. No, matter of fact, he doesn't remind me of Bret Hart. He reminds me of Owen Hart. He reminds me of Owen Hart as far as his in-ring ability, as far as him being able to maneuver on the ropes and flying moves and stuff like that. He reminds me a lot of Owen Hart. But I think the storyline is just getting, for me, I mean, you can tell yes, there is a yes movement, because if you go and look at sports shows, you got people chanting yes. In stadiums, they're chanting yes. Church, they're chanting yes. So there is a yes movement out there. So that's my take on it.
Well, here's the thing. Like he said, he doesn't really like Dan Bryan much, and not like Daniel Bryan, but more of the storyline. I don't like the storyline, but I kind of like Daniel Bryan.
To
be quite honest, I didn't really like the yes movement at first, but now every now and then when I get something right, whether it be in school or something like that, you know, I do a little yes chant myself, just because, you know, I've seen it and it's everywhere and everyone is doing this, you know, I just go a little bit yes, because, you know. So with the whole storyline, you know, it's kind of obvious the way they were just leading it up to the way it's going to be Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. So kind of figured that once I heard that Triple H pedigree and cost him the title the first time, kind of figured it's going to come all down to this. The title though is big news, but you know.
Say that again.
You know, the winner who gets to go into the title match. That's, you know, they, like I said, still want to see Triple H in the match, but you know, other than that.
And yeah. So now the WWE, they have the WWE network. We haven't gotten it yet. Still on the line, but for $9.95 a month for a 6-month commitment, $60. That's one pay-per-view right there that you can put online, and basically you don't really have to. I think it'll put pay-per-view out of business for the simple fact that you can just take your computer, plug it into your HDMI on your television, you got the pay-per-view right then and there. Plus, I work for Comcast in Delaware, and we had the WWE network, or no, WWE On Demand, which it was pretty cool to go in and watch some of the show. They just had a lot of old pay-per-views and stuff like that. And they had interviews like who was the best tag team ever, who was the best big man, who was the best giant, this, that, and the other. So it was pretty good. I haven't had a chance to view the WWE Network, but I think they're going to make a whole lot of money at $9.95, and you can see all the pay-per-views. Huge. What do you think?
As soon as I heard it, I was like, oh, we gotta get that. I was like, Dad, you get all pay-per-views all year, you know, $9.99 a month. You know, the 6-month commitment, you know, that's not bad at all.
So you gonna pay for it?
I'm putting my $3 in like I'm supposed to.
$3? It's $9.95, $9.99.
My $3 in, my brother's $3 each, and then we got it covered for 6 months once he buys it.
All right. So we're gonna look at the card for WrestleMania, and this is the card so far. You got the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. I think they're running out of things to do because I don't know who they got writing or who they got promoting or booking, but they got the Andre the Giant 30-man Battle Royal. I think it'll be interesting because I think it will be the first time that I can remember that there was a Battle Royal at WrestleMania, and I assume it's just going to be over the top. You know, you got guys like Big Show's going to be in it. You got Big E, you got Ryback, they're going to be in it. Alberto Del Rio, Fandango, Dolph Ziggler. That's another guy. I love Dolph Ziggler. And again, he won the title, and then they just didn't know what to do with it because he started becoming. They just did him wrong, man. I think he would have made a great champion. Same thing with Miz. I love Miz as a champion. He lost it, and there's just some things that you just can't beat because it doesn't fit. So, you know, another great wrestler that they got there that they just don't know what to do with. So I think the Andre, I'm gonna give it a thumbs up because it's the first. So then you have another match. It's gonna be John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. Yeah,
He doesn't like John Cena. That's the reason.
I don't like John Cena, and I said I was gonna talk about this. Let me tell you why I don't like John Cena. He sucks. He sucks.
I think he's good.
DX sucks. John Cena, I'm gonna tell you why, and he cannot dispute why John Cena sucks. He comes out and he rides the curtails. He rides the waves of other guys. Let me give you an example. Daniel Bryan is still on a high right now. John Cena, months ago, he was a champion, comes out, everyone's booing him, but to get people to start cheering him, yes, so he's riding Daniel Bryan's wave. When Ryback was at the top of his game, and to feed me more, who came out? John Cena, feed me more. I'm gonna give him the shot. When Edge retired, who had to come out and solidify? Let's give it up for Edge. Riding the coattails of Edge. And I was actually watching that Raw that day, and when Edge retired, and Cena comes out, and one of the things screamed at Cena, was like, "It ain't about you." And John was like, "Shut up," whatever he said to the fan or whatever. But he rides the waves of other superstars, and that's one of the reasons why I cannot stand John Cena, is because he can't generate for himself what The Rock generated, what Stone Cold generated, what Ric Flair generates, what Hulk Hogan generates. He rides and he sucks the life out of what other superstars do. Same thing. Who else? So we said I said Daniel Bryan. I said Edge. I said when Mark Henry was supposedly retired.
John Cena was actually out there first.
Okay, but again, still, he was mentioning Mark Henry. It's like, let's send John Cena out so he can get. I don't need John Cena to come out to get Edge over. I don't need John Cena to come out to get Ryback over or Daniel Bryan over. I don't need him to come out to get anybody over. And that's what he does. He comes out and he's nonchalant and he acts like he doesn't care that he's getting booed. And when somebody really cracks a good joke on it, he plays, oh, that didn't bother me or whatever. I mean, it just, that's the one thing that bothers me, that he just rides the waves of other superstars to put himself out there. It's just like, it's that annoying person who has to be in the picture of every photo. Oh, we're taking a picture with us. Oh, let me get in. You see him like this. Or we're taking a picture. Yeah. He's that guy that you see in the camera that wants to be on camera all the time, whether it's about him or not. That is my issue with Cena. That is why I don't like him. Actually, matter of fact, when he first came out and he was a doctor of thugonomics, I loved his character. Word life. I love his characters. He didn't carry. He didn't care or anything like that. He walked with. He had a swag about him, and this, that, and the other. And his match years ago with the Undertaker and a couple guys loved it. I was like, oh man, this kid got some upside. I really like this guy. But now I can't stand him. And just for the record, the only people cheering for Cena is the daggone kids. There's no adults in there cheering for him.
The women are cheering for him.
And you got the ladies cheering for him. All the men that grew up watching wrestling and are really wrestling fans. Man, get this fool out of here, please. He ain't no Stone Cold. He ain't no Rock. He ain't no Ric Flair. He ain't no Hogan. He ain't Edge. Come on, he's not Bret Hart. He's not no Shawn Michaels. Get him out of here. So he's facing Bray Wyatt, and the storyline is similar to Kane and John Cena's storyline of a couple years ago. Embrace the hate or whatever I know about you, and this, that, and the other. And Cena's like really trying to embrace it. He's trying to really convert him. And the same thing with the the Nexus, with them trying to get at Cena. It's the same storyline. It's the same storyline. So I mean, that's why I don't like Cena. So this match, it's just it's there. I'll watch it because it's on WrestleMania. But because I have to watch it, I'll watch it. But if I have my choice that I can turn to something else, I would.
Well, I cannot say that he's not wrong. Whenever something big's happening, John Cena always does come out. And I'm just like, yo, why is he here? It's about...
Leave me alone, woman!
And, you know, I do have to give my respect for John Cena, everything he has accomplished and everything like that. He still is, regardless of people not liking him or not, he still is one of the top guys at the company today. So whether people may not want to admit it or not, he's still up there.
Because they're putting him up there. Imagine, imagine if they didn't change the whole thing with Ryback. Case in point, Ryback feed me more. Ryback was on high. Cena's in the ring, Ryback comes out, and Cena said, yeah, Ryback. And he goes and he slams what's Ryback's finishing move?
Shell shock.
He puts Cena in the shell shock and does that. And everybody jumped up. Like, yes, we've been waiting for this. Yes, we can't believe it. Yes, finally shut him up or whatever. And it's right after that, they changed the whole Ryback. Imagine if Ryback was still, they kept the storyline with Ryback doing what he was doing. Oh my God. Cena who? Cena who? I even like Alberto Del Rio better than Cena. Who's another guy? Again, I want to mention Daniel Bryan. Again, he's good. He's good. Again, don't need Cena to give him over. I don't like the fact that Cena had a bad elbow or whatever when he faced him or something like that, and then he still used that as an excuse or whatsoever. But I mean, if they'd done the right thing, Ryback would still be up there. Daniel Bryan was, he's up there now, but CM Punk, he definitely would have been in the storyline that would have made it very interesting had they done it right. So that's one of my things. And again, it's an old storyline because it's nothing but Kane again with the Bray Wyatt, and you know the rest of the Wyatt family is going to be in the match, this, that, and the other. Cena's going to perform some super miracle, come out with the win or whatever, because that's what always happened with John Cena. Oh my God, look at Cena's strength! You suck, Cena. So then we
respect you.
Then we got The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh God.
I am a huge Undertaker fan. Ever since he came in, when he beat Hulk Hogan, when all the wrestlers jumped him and he left a couple times, I'm a huge fan of the streak. I still think the Shawn Michaels 1 versus Undertaker #1 match was the greatest WrestleMania match ever. I think it'll be a good match. But for the first time ever, when I saw The Undertaker walking back when he chokeslammed Brock Lesnar to the table, I looked at him, I was like, man, Taker is old, man. Take is old. He's been in this business for a minute. So I don't know what they're gonna do. The guy's only doing like maybe 1 or 2 matches a year, whatever. I really would like to know what he's getting paid. But if you're bringing in money for the biggest, the granddaddy of them all, you're probably getting paid a lot. So this match, I'm up for it only because of The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. I think they need to sell it more, because the whole Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker #1, oh my God, they sold that, because whatever the Undertaker tried to do, Shawn Michaels was 1 step ahead of him. And it made you believe that, oh my God, Shawn Michaels could do it. He could do it. And the second one, it was like, oh my God, he might do it because he's determined to do it. Triple H, man. The third one, because Shawn Michaels was in the mix of it, and he gave him Sweet Chin Music. Triple H gave him the pedigree, and you just knew it was over.
You felt like it was over.
You knew it was over. And I thought that was the second best match at that, but just a little bit over Shawn Michaels Undertaker 2. But you kind of thought it was over, and I really can't remember CM Punk Undertaker match from last year. It just didn't.
I can, but
it didn't have that.
Good.
It wasn't that memorable like Shawn Michaels #1 match or Shawn Michaels Triple H Undertaker match or whatever. It just wasn't that memorable. Speaking of the Undertaker, but what else? I'm looking forward to it only because of the Undertaker, and I think Brock brings that unknown factor to it. But they gotta sell it a little bit more. Let Brock put him through a couple tables and stuff like that or whatever. I like the Heyman factor into it, but Heyman was a part of it last year and really didn't get it done. So, you know, what do you think? Simply, double S.
When I heard that Brock Lesnar was going to face The Undertaker, before he even came back, I really got scared, because I was like, Dad, Taker's old. There's not much any more matches he could do. This probably might be his last one. But just because Brock Lesnar is so physical, I mean, when he faced Triple H at WrestleMania 27, and the Undertaker couldn't even stand up. Now I'm not sure if that was the storyline, but he couldn't even stand up. So I'm kind of scared of what Brock Lesnar is gonna do to The Undertaker. The streak is always one of the matches I always look forward to seeing.
It's the true main event.
When I go to WrestleMania, when I watch WrestleMania. Matter of fact, when WrestleMania starts coming around, that's one of the questions that pops up. Who's gonna face The Undertaker at WrestleMania this year? Who's gonna attempt to break the streak? And when I saw that Brock Lesnar was gonna do it, I was like, oh man, I don't want him to lose. I want him to retire undefeated and all that like that, because it's a streak that can never be broken. It's a streak that should remain undefeated. So,
you know who I actually would really want to see face The Undertaker at WrestleMania, and they just haven't done this? And I'm gonna take you back. Remember I said we talk about everything. You remember that the first time that The Undertaker faced Shawn Michaels? Huge. Shawn Michaels was the champion, and The Undertaker came out and said, I want the belt. And it was something that The Undertaker said. He was like, somebody had to tell the story, and I left that up to you. But eventually we was gonna have to meet, and it was a huge pop. It was huge exhilaration as far as those two finally facing each other. But I think John Cena versus The Undertaker would be a huge match
Yes.
at WrestleMania because John Cena, again,
He's the only one left.
I don't like him, but I think his match with the Undertaker, if he fought the Undertaker, it would be like that it factor, like, oh my god, because you know how John Cena, he's a freak of nature, the guy's strong or whatever, and you know, Undertaker can take a pounding and so can Cena. So it would be an awesome match, but by the time they finally get around to doing it, Tate gonna be dead, really dead, before they actually decide they're gonna really do it. So I think that would be like a dream matchup. They ain't
I
gonna do it.
actually wanted them to do that this year at WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania 30, and I thought they were going to do that, leading John Cena versus The Undertaker. I really want to see that match actually, but I'm not sure. Like I said, this could be Taker's last match because he's getting old and not many two more matches he can be in, and you know. But if it did happen, I would, yes.
Well, that's gonna do it. Can you fix the camera, please?
Okay.
That was my daughter.
Okay.
Why is it
So that's gonna do it for Let's Talk Wrestling. When we come back
gosh.
next week,
What the?
we are going.
You said
When we
that
come
the-
back next week, we're going to talk about the other WrestleMania card. We're going to recap Raw. We may even talk a little bit of SmackDown, and hopefully, if we get about watching TNA, I really don't want to watch TNA, but we said let's talk wrestling and stuff like that. Historical fact, and so that's it for Stephen J and Simply Steve Double S. That's Let's Talk Wrestling. We about to be out as soon as my son hits the button to end the show, which he's on the phone and he's not doing. So